Hello everyone! So in today's video we are going to talk about workflows and why they're so important for students and people who are starting businesses or even just trying to work on a few hobbies or side projects. So a workflow is basically a set of tasks that you need to complete in order to tackle a bigger project. There are three great things about workflows. First of all, it makes everything so very predictable. As soon as you start your workflow, you know exactly what's the next step, and knowing exactly what you have to do will end up reducing decision fatigue, which will make you more motivated and more productive. The second great thing about a workflow is that it allows you to remain in the same mindset for the entire task or tasks that you need to accomplish. For instance, if you need to write a paper, that's very different from summarizing your notes or reading some materials. Reading, summarizing, and writing all use different parts of your brain, and switching back and forth to different parts of your brain will invariably make you less productive and feel less energized. Each task will be easier to accomplish, and you'll probably improve the quality of each task as you're doing it, because you're using the same part of your brain to tackle all of them. The third great thing about using a workflow is that repetition will allow you to be better at each individual step and also improve the overall process. And you're also able to improve the quality of the result of each one of those tasks. You can also apply a workflow for each part of your life. You can use this for school, for your business, for a side project, a side hustle, or a hobby. Also, you don't need a very complex app or a very complex program to track your workflow. You can do this as I do in a note-taking app like Notion or Evernote, or you can just use your bullet journal, your planner, or a very simple notepad. The good thing about doing this in a digital app, it means that you're able to cross out the tasks in your digital to-do list without having to write the same task list over and over again. I'll also link down below some more complex and more specific apps for workflows in case you're curious to check them out. Also, if you're curious about how I do my own workflow using the app Notion, I will link two videos down below, one about the capabilities of Notion and the ways you can interact with different pages, and I will also link my setup for Notion, where you can see the actual pages I'm using and the actual setup I made for myself for school, my personal life, and my YouTube channel. If you're a student and you are wondering what a student's workflow can look like, you can imagine the following scenario. If you're creating a workflow to study for a midterm or an exam, your workflow can look like this. So the first step of your workflow can be revising your syllabi and your outlines. This allows you to have a bigger and better perception of the material, and that way you know exactly what you have to study and the level of depth of each one of your classes. The second task in your workflow can be reviewing or skimming through your main textbooks. It allows you a better coverage of the material, as well as understanding which type of information you need to retain for your test and which chapters are preferred by the teacher or which chapters were lectured. The third task in your workflow can be reading secondary materials or creating reading forms or critical reading for pre-existing study materials. A fourth task in your workflow can be creating a mind map for all of the concepts, topics, or dates or chronologies that are already included in your set of materials. Finally, the fifth task in your workflow can be creating an outline or a more comprehensive summary of all the topics involved, or just skimming all the notes before the tests. Either way, the goal of this workflow method is allowing yourself to create this very repetitive scenario where you need to get all of your work done, and you don't have to worry anymore about being able to tackle all of those tasks and basically just stop worrying about an incomplete study session or not being able to cover all of the materials or all of the single steps you need to understand information better. Another thing you can really include in your workflow is do some problem solving, and for that there's nothing better than today's sponsor, Brilliant. Brilliant is a platform where you can find full-fledged courses on maths and sciences and hundreds of problems with step-by-step guides and interactive quizzes to help you actively improve your knowledge. Even when you lack the time to sit down in front of your computer for a longer period of time to delve into their courses, Brilliant now features daily challenges, which are quick and allow you to learn something new every single day. Each daily challenge provides you with the context and framework that you need to tackle it, with animations, illustrations, and interactive visualizations so that you learn the concepts by applying them. If you like the problem and want to learn more, there's a course that explores the same concept in greater detail. For instance, one of the daily problems allows you to calculate whether you should walk or run in windy rain, but if you're feeling curious about the topic, you can explore the physics of the everyday course, which includes 40 interactive quizzes and more than 400 guided problems and explanations. If you're confused and need more guidance, there's a community of thousands of learners discussing the problems and writing solutions. Daily challenges are thought-provoking and will lead you from curiosity to mastery, one day at a time. To finally get better at math and start doing stuff at a practical level, you can go to brilliant.org/Mariana and sign up for free. If you're lucky enough to be one of the first 200 people that go to that link, you will get 20% off the annual premium subscription. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye!